Now this one has dual 110 horsepower jet engines.
So that's 220 horsepower.
220 total horsepower, correct. So this boat's got, you know, perfect power plan for a smaller lake like the one you guys are on.
Yep. So this is appropriate then for us, I
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
Good.
I would say this would be just fine.
Okay, great.
The other advantage with this boat, obviously the jets perform a little bit differently than a traditional inboard-outboard. They get up on plane much quicker. They have a lot of, you know, out of the hole. They have a lot of power. So getting people up on skis or wakeboards is very, very easy. But the disadvantage is going to be the weight size. A, you got to run a longer rope. You got to run a 75-foot rope because there's more wash in the wake. So you got to get behind the wash. And B, due to the displacement of the hull, it's not going to make as big of a wake as it would on a traditional, you know, on a ski boat or an inboard-outboard for that matter.
So we're not going to, pardon the expression, piss off our neighbors.
No, definitely not.
Okay, that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously the advantage with the 21-foot boat, you've got a nice wide beam up front. It comes standard with a bow filler cushion, so you can actually make that whole area a big bed up front.
Right.
Now, that tower that you're talking about, that allows for wakeboarding because it gets the rope up high.
Exactly. With wakeboarding, as well as tubing for that matter, you have a higher center of gravity, so you're able to get further closer to the boat and have a little bit more speed coming in and out of the lineup. So.
What if I told you, what if I just said, out of the blue, I'd buy the boat, but I don't want the tower. Could I still do wakeboarding with it?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it does have a ski hook on the back. It's just not going to have that higher center of gravity that.
Right. And what is that going to reduce the wake?
No, that's not going to change. That's not going to change the wake characteristics at all. What it's going to change is the experience that the rider has because they're going to have more restriction either side of the boat. They're not going to be able to get as far out. So it does come standard with a bimini top. Comes with a full mooring cover too, which is a nice feature. It's got the walk-through area in the back. And one nice thing about the Yamaha, because it has two motors, they're much smaller than a traditional, you know, inboard-outboard motor. So they're able to seat much lower in the engine compartment. So what it does is it actually opens up a great walk-through area on the back, which is going to give you a transom remote, so you can control the stereo from back there. It's got a great swim platform area, so you can get in and out of the boat very, very easily. And then it's also going to have a table mount too, so you can set up a little table out back. So it's definitely a nice spot to.
What would be the minimum horsepower that you could run this boat with?
Oh, it's got built-in engines. It's 200.
So you couldn't get it with less horsepower than that?
No, with the Yamahas, this is the smallest motor package that they offer. Is the dual 110 horsepower package. So.
Wow.
But I think
which sounds like a lot, but you know, a 4.3 V6 is running the same type of power, and that's at a minimum what you'll need to get skiers and wakeboarders out of the hole in a traditional fiberglass. So, you know,
would you say that, and this is what some of our neighbors have. We have 3 glass runs that are 17.5 to 18.5. They all have inboards, and there's one 1996 Stingray 586 ZP over that.
Okay.
That's 180. This is the same.
Definitely. This is not only is this going to be a better performing boat for your needs, it's going to have a little bit more horsepower.
But it's in the same family.
It's in the same type of family,
Okay,
absolutely.
Even though it's got much more horsepower?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
You know, the 180 horse is a 4.3 V6. That's your base 4.3 V6. This would be the comparable inboard-outboard engine for this is a 4.3 liter fuel injected engine. That's 180 horses, a carbureted engine. So, you know, those are running 210 horsepower. So this is in that same ballpark. It sounds like a lot of power, but you know, for a 2,800 pound boat, you're going to need some power to push it and to be able to pull your skiers, your tubers, your wakeboarders, all the above. So.